Hello, so in this is video number 5 of 6 of the games that impressed me the most from PlayStation's 5's reveal. Um, and the fourth game that I want to get for sure day one, whenever it comes out, is, I don't know if it'll be the day one game or not, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I love Ratchet and Clank games. They kind of slowed down after Crack in Time, which was my first Ratchet and Clank game I played. And still my favorite. But at the same time, maybe it was kind of a good thing that they slowed down in a sense because there for a while they were pumping out Ratchet and Clank games on what seemed like just about a yearly basis, and as a result, they may have started kind of getting kind of worn down on working on something that's so similar every year type of thing, and maybe kind of running out of ideas and just kind of maybe need some time to kind of regroup and do something else before they come back and have fresh ideas and stuff. Um, and the fact, because after Crack in Time, there was some other Ratchet and Clank games, but they weren't as good or they were short or whatever, such as Into the Nexus. Really good game, but shorter, almost like an expansion type of thing. And then you had games like All for One. The one big Ratchet and Clank game they've done after Crack in Time was the PlayStation 4 one, which I personally loved. A lot of people liked the game overall a lot, but didn't care for the story and kind of the changes they made from the original game, but loved the gameplay and the graphics. But yeah, this game stood out because of a couple of reasons. The fact that it's the first like full-fledged Ratchet and Clank game in quite some time, and is not a sequel to the 2016 one, which I'm glad, because had it been a sequel to the 2016 one, it might have been kind of almost another reimaginary and maybe it been of going commando, and I prefer to get something that's completely like 100% original and new from them for the franchise. And so that's one. And then two is this is one of the games that definitely showed what PlayStation 5 can do like the best. In this case, with the SSD and the fact that just so much going on in this game. It's one of those things where it's like almost where do you even start? Total game changer the SSD is showing here with this game. The fact that you start the trailer basically going on rails, which has always been something that Ratchet and Clank is known for, being able to basically grind rails, and then you're jumping through a whole bunch of different like portals to different planets or dimensions or whatever. Just awesome, awesome stuff. And like I said, really showed what PlayStation 5 is capable of, because you're basically getting to different areas with butter smoothness type of thing, no slowdown whatsoever. Total game changer, I think, for the franchises too. Just you could say it's a gimmick if you want, I guess, but it's a good one in this case, and really just adds a big dimension to this Ratchet and Clank compared to the past ones. The fact that you can just jump from planet to planet type of thing. It looks awesome. The fact that you can like fall from one area to another and then like fall onto an animal and fly it or whatever, and that whole like flying or riding different animals or whatever, that looks like something kind of new to the franchise. I don't remember being able to do too much of that in past Ratchet and Clank games. I may be forgetting some, but I know it wasn't like a big thing. And from this trailer, it looked like that's going to be a big thing. And then the fact that you get what looks like a female Wombats at the end, who doesn't know who Clank is, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see kind of who she is, where she's from, just kind of her overall backstory in the game. But yeah, just so much going on in this game with all the portals jumping around and everything. The fact that you can use it too in combat to kind of teleport yourself to different areas, such as there was a part in the gameplay segment that they showed after the trailer where you basically use it to teleport up kind of an area where you would normally be jumping up to get closer to bad guys or whatever, and be able to attack them rather than having to kind of jump up to them and maybe getting hit in the process. So just being able to kind of get yourself to different areas with the tap of a button, basically. And yeah, the fact too that we saw a few of the weapons that are new in the game, and one of those looked kind of like a Nerf gun or something, as it almost looked like you were shooting tennis balls or something, which I thought was pretty funny. And Ratchet and Clank games have always been known for their, crazy weapons. And the last Ratchet and Clank game, they did get some criticism just for the fact that they reused a lot of weapons. There's some weapons that I will never get tired of seeing in Ratchet and Clank: the Buzz Blades, the Groovitron, like disco ball, it makes animates dance. Those I can get in every Ratchet and Clank game. But it is nice if you're able to add more weapons and not use the same weapons in each every game. So it'll be very interesting to see what other weapons are new to this game and what weapons do return. Because I expect there will be some weapons that will return. I don't think every single weapon that it will be in this game will be 100% original. I think some will be, but I think there will be at least a couple that are returning, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's the Buzz Blades and the disco ball thing. But yeah, I just loved what I saw with this. So impressive, all the jumping around and everything, and just all of that's going on. And the fact that it's in pre-alpha, at least what they showed was it could be that they're working, and that they have almost an or that they're getting perhaps close to being able to show a new stage of development. And what I mean by that is it could be that like in another month, 2 months, maybe they have a build that they would like to show to kind of give an update on the game and whatnot. But for being pre-alpha too, the game seemed to run crazy smooth already, and the fact that you saw some kind of environment um, uh, destruction was really cool too. And then the fact that you could see the ray tracing a lot of light bouncing off of things, including like the floor looked amazing, and yeah, just the game looks like people have been saying kind of like a Disney Pixar movie in terms of just how impressive it looks, and even the 2016 game looked pretty impressive in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see how much better does this look graphically in that regard. But from what they showed, it looked pretty darn good graphically already, especially when you watch the 4K trailer, which I feel like a lot of people um, were overcritical when it comes to the way the PlayStation 5 games that were shown look. Because a lot of them, if you do look at the 4K trailer, it clearly looks better than PlayStation 4 stuff. Not all of them, but some, and the fact that, as the gen goes on, things do typically get more impressive. But yeah, in this case, it's not just the graphics, but like I said, just the fact that you're able to teleport so much and everything. Just it'll be interesting to see too, like with the teleporting and whatnot. Do they come up with a way to kind of incorporate that to like a boss fight or something, or how does that work with boss fights and stuff? Maybe you can tell. Is there a way where you can kind of like teleport maybe to this, not instead of like a different area perhaps, or instead of a different planet perhaps, can you even just kind of well, I guess you could since we already saw it like in one of the levels. But what I was thinking is, teleport say behind you. Say you're fighting a boss, and can you teleport just straight behind the boss kind of thing, so you can then attack them from behind type of thing, or teleport to the left or right of them type of thing. Which I don't see why you couldn't, considering what we already saw. And it also looked like we had kind of a new way to avoid things instead of just kind of jumping back or whatever a little bit, or side to side a little bit. It looks like you can almost kind of hover to the side to avoid attacks and stuff. But yeah, just extremely impressed with this. I hope we, get a launch date for it soon and it's not too far out there. The fact that Insomniac's already coming out with Spider-Man on launch day makes me think there's no way this would be a launch game as well. But at the same time, it looks so smooth that, and the fact that they did show more gameplay within most games makes me think it might not be too far off. So maybe it could be an early 2021 game. I don't know. It's hard to say, but we may find out in another month or two when we get updates on um, you know the games that were shown and such. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious what you guys' thoughts were on Ratchet and Clank. Were you blown away by the time with jump dimension type stuff, and how things loaded so quickly and everything on that? And I really think this could be the best Ratchet and Clank game we've seen passing Crack in time. So I'm kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are on what are some of your favorite Ratchet and Clank games, and how excited are you for this, and just overall thoughts on what you saw here from this game, and the female wombats and all that kind of stuff. So if you like this video, subscribe and leave your comments below.